What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Going to focus in on the Minnesota Wild 2016-2017 season preview. Minnesota's in an interesting situation. They're coming off 4 straight playoff appearances, and they're bringing in a coach, Brucey Boudreau, that's got a good reputation and a guy players like to play for. But I don't see with this team. Ryan Suter, I think, is still a legitimate number 1 defenseman, but how long is Zach going to hold out for? And Zach Parise, quite frankly, has gotten very old very fast. We're 4 years into that massive contract, and it's not exactly looking like he's going to be playing out at a high level for the other 9 years of that deal. So it's just one of those situations. And I'll start with the forward. Zach Parise and Eric Stahl are 2/3 their first line. And they're both, 32, both old for 32. I think Stahl's on a reasonable team-friendly contract, so I'm not going to knock that too much. But been a lot of wear and tear on Parise over the last few years. He's missed time with injury, and just is he the player he was 2 or 3 years ago? And the answer is no. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. And if anyone says I'm an idiot for saying that, well, you know what? Unfortunately, sometimes the truth hurts. The other member of that first line is Charlie Coyle, friend of Power Play. So, part of me, because he's a friend of the Power Play, feels bad picking Minnesota not make the playoffs. But truth comes first. Truth don't lie. So play on the Rasheed Wallace ball don't lie. Those of you for the uninitiated. So Charlie at 24 on a line with 2 older goats. His a lot of talent. Just productivity isn't going to match it anymore because, Father Time is undefeated unless you're Jaromir Jagr or Tom Brady. Going a step further, second line, we got Palmerville, who's overpaid, Mikko Koivu, who's overpaid, and Michael Granlund, who hasn't really taken his game to that next level. He thought he looked decent at the World Cup and, what I've seen of him, but his game still leaves a little bit to be desired, and we'll see if, he's able to take that to the next level. Koivu, team captain, longest tenured player, all that heavy horse shit. Again, another guy that at almost $7 million, is he really worth it? And Palmerville is not worth $5.6 million. It's just not a good, not a valuable, not a good use of cap management. It's the way it goes. Third line, I like Eric Holla, I like Jason Zucker, I like Nino Niederreiter. That's a very good line. Got some youth up there, some talent. They seem to be, pretty cohesive together, and we'll see if they're able to take that, to next season. Then, the fourth line, they got Chris Stewart, figured out, Daub, maybe Minnesota kid, Jordan Schroeder, something along those lines. So the forward core, there's some talent. I like that third line a lot, and, I just wish there was some way to, get the fountain of youth injected into Zach Parise and Eric Stahl, because that first line would be very exciting. But we'll see what happens over the course of the season. On defense, Ryan Suter's still a workhorse. I think when his body breaks down, he's going to break down hard and fast because of the amount of minutes he's played over the course of his career. Spurgeon and Scandella, I like. They're both solid players. I'm still waiting for Jonas Brodin to take that next step. We'll see if that happens this season. He looked so good as a teenage rookie with the Wild that, to see the kind of regression he's had is like, what? Come on, dude. I know you're better than that. And then Matt Dumba's another one. I'd like to see him take his game to that next level. In terms of young kids knocking on the door, Mike Riley, Gustav Olofsson, and Christian Folin will all be pushing for full-time roster spots this year. So, we'll see what happens on defense. I wouldn't rule out a Dumba or Brodin trade for a forward. I think it was Dumba and a pick for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was circulating the Twitter sphere over the summer. So I don't know how true those rumors are, but I'm just throwing that out there. I don't think they're true at all, but something like that. Minnesota wants to improve their forward core and infusing some more creativity. Is probably the best way to do it. We'll see what happens with that. Going a step further with their goalies, Devin Dubnyk, he proved me wrong. I was against that trade because I thought he was kind of an overrated scrub, but it turns out he's very, very, very good, and has played very well in Minnesota. So, egg on my face. And Darcy Kemper, I think, is a valuable trade asset. I think if he gets off to a decent start in spot duty, he will garner some attention and maybe help them acquire some assets that they can move to kind of plug different pieces around the board. So again, I like the goaltending situation. The defense isn't bad. Their forwards just leave, too many question marks. And, they haven't been great with salary cap management. And I said it back in 2012 when they made the Suter and Parise signings. I mean, they both play a tough style that, means they're going to take a lot of hits, be playing a lot of minutes. And, can their bodies hold on for the, duration of a 13-year deal? And, we've seen with Zach Parise 4 years in that it's not. And unfortunately, you look at those contracts, you look at Palmerville's deal, Koivu's deal, they were able to get out of Vanek's deal. It's just like they haven't been great at their salary cap management. And, we'll see how that hampers the team going forward. But even with Bruce Boudreau behind the bench, I do not see this team as a playoff team. There's just too much going on in the Western Conference that, I think Minnesota gets lost in the shuffle. It's unfortunate because they had a really good nucleus there for a while. But I think teams get old. Time happens. And when that happens, there's no way to reverse it. So, sorry, Minnesota fans. I can't see this team in the playoffs. Anyway, that's all I got in this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes through the off season and beyond. Later, guys.